Hi, everyone. Welcome to Forbes Newsroom. I'm Diane Brady, and I'm here with my colleague, Sarah Dorn, politics reporter. Sarah, you have just written about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and this whole Twitter v. Apple controversy. Tell us a little more about what's going on.
Yes. So today, Governor DeSantis, speaking at an unrelated infrastructure event in Duval County, used the opportunity to mention Apple's alleged threat to Twitter to remove it from its app store. This is something that Elon Musk claimed yesterday in a series of tweets attacking Apple. And Apple, we don't know if that's necessarily true. Apple has not responded to Musk. But DeSantis assailed the company, assailed Apple, and claimed that they were likely making this alleged threat because Twitter has curbed its content moderation policies since Elon Musk took over the company. It's loosened restrictions. It's brought back a number of accounts that were previously banned. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, obviously former President Donald Trump, a number of Republican accounts.
Quite a gallery of allies there. Not sure if you'd want all of them, but talk a little bit about what, if we connect the dots, is it rallying around essentially this criticism of big tech? Is it really sort of in some ways trying to cozy up to Musk, all of the above? I mean, what is motivating this desire to speak out when there's no particular reason to do so right now?
Well, DeSantis specifically, it's worth noting that Musk did say last week that he would endorse him if he runs for president, which he has not declared a candidacy. But at the same time, yes, we have seen Musk more closely aligning with Republican candidates in recent years. Previously, his politics have been very ambiguous. He's donated to both Republicans and Democrats, but largely supported Democratic candidates. This free speech mantra that he is promoting in his takeover of Twitter, and that is the reason that he has brought back Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump. That is something that Republicans support and that they have heavily criticized big tech about, for any censorship of content, because it often is censorship of right-leaning figures and people who appeal to their base of voters and can rally support for Republicans. So Musk and the right have become very much aligned on that. And one other thing I want to say about Elon Musk's politics is I think that the COVID-19 pandemic was really a catalyst for him in moving farther to the right. He's been very outspoken against COVID restrictions, moved his Tesla headquarters from California to Texas. And obviously, DeSantis especially and Republicans do not agree with widespread COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
So,
and we've certainly seen the public health remains such a politicized issue, even in the way people are responding now to what's happening in China. If you think about just, again, if we get back to sort of Elon Musk himself, and obviously we've seen this, still the richest man in the world, but his wealth has, seriously deteriorated. I think more than $100 billion, throughout the past year. Is this very much aligned with not just sort of the freedom of speech, but with regard to taxation, with regard to regulation? Because I know he's run afoul of the SEC before with his tweets. I don't know to what extent he's starting to talk about policy and the kind of policies he wants to see out of Washington, the states, or otherwise that would be good for Twitter and good for him.
I mean, absolutely, there's a business element to this. In his attack on Twitter yesterday, he said that he would go to war. I mean, on Apple, I'm sorry. He said that he would go to war with the company if it refused to back down from its 30% fee that it imposes on in-app purchases. It takes 30% of the revenue from those companies, and at the same time,
making more than $1 million, right?
Yes, companies making more than $1 million. Yeah. That's correct. And at the same time, Apple is one of several companies that have pulled advertisements from Twitter since he took over. So, this is about more than the politics here. He definitely has a financial, stake, obviously, in this. And I mean, if Apple did pull Twitter from the App Store, they've said in previous earnings reports how detrimental that would be to the company.
I know we're looking at obviously future presidential races, but this is the season of you might call it lame duck season. But is any of this a premonition of what's to come when we do have a new Congress in terms of some of the rallying issues that the GOP really is focused on?
Well, I mean, I definitely think that big tech and what they allow on their platforms is just going to be a prominent issue, especially as campaign season picks up. I mean, it played such a role in our previous presidential elections, misinformation. But on the legislative front, in terms of antitrust legislation, I mean, historically that has been very difficult to pass, just because the tech lobby is so powerful, even though it does have some bipartisan support. And DeSantis is among several Republicans who have yesterday, a few senators and Congress members came out and called on Congress to pass antitrust legislation that would curb tech companies, power over the app market before the end of the session. But that's unlikely to happen. I mean, they have a packed agenda, and any legislation next year in a split Congress, when Democrats control the Senate and Republicans have a very slim majority in the House, there's going to be a stalemate. So I don't foresee much movement on antitrust legislation, but there are other mechanisms for reining in tech companies as well.
Rhetoric's powerful, Sarah, and there are other ways to keep tech giants in check, right?
Yes, I mean, Epic Games has filed a lawsuit against Apple for its refusal to allow it to use third-party payment platforms, which is similar to Musk's dispute with Apple right now, that they're charging a 30% fee for in-app purchases. And Apple has really fought back against this lawsuit. And the Department of Justice as well is reportedly, Politico reported in August that they are preparing a lawsuit against Apple for its abuse of power in the app market. So there are other mechanisms outside of legislation that can be used to force Apple to, tamp down on its control over the market. And
in the meantime, we have people like Elon Musk, Ron DeSantis, probably benefiting at least from the publicity and the rhetoric of being the underdogs in this situation. So I'm sure there's more to come. Thanks a lot, Sarah.
Thank you.